friends, how are ya? Welcome back to my channel for just a chit-chatty kind of video. I have recognized a recurring comment lately that means a lot. It means a lot. And if you're new here, I've spent the last 9 months at this point publicly navigating a divorce, a separation, a breakup, if you will, and kind of rediscovering myself and my life and what I want, and now easing into dating for the first time after all of that. And I think navigating that online has opened me up to some really cool comments from y'all and insights of a lot of people currently going through a breakup or a divorce. And I've seen over and over the general sentiment of, you give me hope that good will come out of this. You give me hope that like there might even be better on the other side of this, even though it really sucks right now. And I thought, how cool would it be to sit down and kind of recap all the super unexpected good that I did not expect to come from this. In the beginning of going through a breakup or a divorce, it can feel like the absolute worst, most heartbreaking thing in the world. And I feel like I'm now on the other side of it where I can see so much more good than bad. So I wanted to kind of recap a few of the things that I did not expect to come out of it that have been really good and healthy growth for me. And then I also asked on Instagram some of the things that you guys didn't expect in your really hard, big breakups that were awesome that came out of it as well. So this video is for you if you're going through a breakup or a divorce or a separation right now and you're looking for something positive to hold on to or hope for. Or maybe also if you don't know if you should break up with someone because you are afraid of letting go of something familiar, this might just give you encouragement that if you do, I bet you'll be okay. That's my little preamble, but let's get into the video. The first thing that has been huge for me is just the emotional safety of being on your own, of not being with a partner that kind of dictates how you're feeling about yourself and about your life. I've noticed I've just felt so much more emotionally stable because how I feel is very much dictated by me and not the person I'm spending the most time with. And that's also given me clarity of the type of person that I want to spend time with in the future, someone who makes me feel good the majority of the time instead of bad. So emotional safety and stability has been a huge positive to come out of this. Next, I kind of had the realization the other day that I've allowed myself to spend more time doing things that make me feel beautiful. Yeah, very superficial things as part of it, like allowing myself to get my hair done more often or just spend longer getting ready in the mornings. All these silly little things I kind of didn't do previously, and it's been really fun to allow myself the time or sometimes the additional expense to treat myself in these ways. And I have felt like taking care of myself has made me feel more beautiful and has therefore raised my confidence. Not that superficial things equal beauty, but taking care of yourself sometimes does. Feels nice. Feels nice to be like someone cares about me and that person is me. I have had the most intense desire to push my own boundaries and find growth in as many areas as I can. And that was something that I did not know would come from a divorce, a breakup, separation, whatever that might be. I think I felt the first little taste of my boundaries being pushed for me of like, hey, you have to figure out how to live on your own and do all these things. And when I realized I was capable, it felt so good that I wanted more. And so now that's taking form in trying new hobbies or trying to do things alone that made me feel uncomfortable, like dining in a restaurant or solo travel. I just am like, what else can I do to have this feeling again of like accomplishment and growth and confidence and like a heck yeah, I did that. I'm so capable. It's been a little bit addicting of a feeling. I'm not gonna lie, but it's awesome and I love it. I think it started off as doing things alone out of necessity and then turned into what else can I do? Because this is really fun. It's been freeing and refreshing to enjoy my own company and not need to feel like I need to be with someone to do something fun, but I'm a good enough reason to go out and do something fun alone. If there's a concert in the park that I want to go to, no one's available to go with me, I don't need that in order to go. I can still go and go alone and enjoy it and enjoy my own company, and that's been really cool. For me personally, I have now realized all this additional income that I was previously spending on a spouse that now I can use to spend on others or myself. If you were in a relationship where you previously combined finances, that might also apply to you. Or if you were just a generous person in your last relationship and spent a lot of time and resources and money on that person, having them out of your life now frees up that time and those resources and that money to do whatever you want with. And I've had a lot of fulfillment and joy of like taking my friends out to dinner and me picking up the tab for them. It honestly felt so much more fun than doing that for a spouse that didn't maybe super appreciate it as much. Being able to make a lot of people's day better instead of just focusing all that on one individual has also been really fulfilling as well. I have two more, and they're both kind of hobby related before I get into all the ones that you guys wrote that I do agree with a lot of them. One is rediscovering hobbies that I really enjoyed but might have let go of because the other person didn't really enjoy them. For example, for me, I was a musical theater major. I went to a performing arts high school and I loved musical theater, but within my last relationship, that's something that the other person just really did not like. So I didn't watch a single musical the whole time I was with that person because I didn't want to be annoying. Could I have watched them on my own? Yes. Should I have? Yes. But it was just something that was easier to let go of than to fight trying to fit it into my schedule. But now I am allowing myself to rediscover things like that used to really light me up and bring me so much joy and dive back into them. Similarly, been taking a lot of tap classes that are just so much fun for me because it's kind of in that same realm. And all the things that I maybe didn't feel full permission to do in the past, I'm like, now's my time. I'm gonna do it. No one can make me feel silly for moving forward with this. And on the reverse, if you were the partner in a relationship that said, yeah, let's do it to all of their hobbies that you didn't really like, it's really nice to not have to do those ever again. I am very happy with the thought of never having to sit at a sporting event ever again, or never having to have sports sounds on my TV. I will say something that I've noticed about myself in previous relationships is I was the one that would spend a lot of hours sitting at their things and never really ask or expect them to do the same for me. So one relationship was a guy who played gigs at restaurants like 5-6 nights a week. And then the next one was baseball, 5-6 nights a week. And so that's been really cool clarity for me of being like, I don't want to dedicate 5-6 nights a week to their hobbies while I simultaneously let go of mine. I want to have a much healthier balance and yes, support them, but also not let go of the things that bring me joy and allow them to support me in my hobbies as well. So that's been good clarity. There were so many incredible ones that you submitted on my Instagram. By the way, Instagram's most often how I interact with people because they make it really easy to have sticker boxes and all those types of things. So here's my Instagram handle if you want to go follow me over there. But a lot of these I think are really well said and I resonate with a lot. This first one is kind of general, but it just says personal growth, finding out just how strong I am. It's incredibly liberating to be like, I did that and I am so strong and I am so okay on my own. That amount of confidence and growth is great. It's a great feeling. It's discovering you absolutely can find love again. I know part of letting go of a relationship, at least for me sometimes, is that fear of will I ever find someone that I'm willing to love and that they're willing to love me again. It seems like so many little things have to happen for that to align. It's been cool to read so many people's stories of saying, this long after my breakup, this long after my divorce, I ended up finding the love of my life. And it's been really cool to know that that is out there and it can happen again. Oftentimes more effortlessly than we think it will be. Self-awareness, who I am, who I'm not, what I will and what I won't compromise on. What I will and what I won't compromise on is also huge. I have a few things looking back at my previous relationships being like, I compromised on that and I don't think I want to again moving forward. And that's a piece of wisdom that I can keep in my pocket as I date that's going to make my life so much easier moving forward. The self-care that you provide for yourself, because we often tend to let that go in relationships. I think that is really what I mean in the first couple points that I made, where it's like I've allowed myself to do things for myself that make me feel beautiful. A lot of that really is just self-care, but then even like mental, emotional self-care of therapy and reading and learning new things, physical self-care in terms of stretching and hydrating and eating healthier and going to workout classes. Like there's so many realms of self-care that when you're going through a breakup and single and you have all this newfound time and resources, that you feel somehow is easier to dive into all those things, and really does affect so many other facets of your life. So I get that. Become more spontaneous and less self-conscious. When you don't have to wonder what someone's going to say or think about the choices that you're making, it becomes a lot easier to do things confidently and more spontaneously as well. This one I like a lot. A fresh start to change anything about your life. New routines, hobbies, style, house, etc. It's kind of like that feeling at January 1st where you're like, it's a new year, I'm gonna make some changes. I don't know why it feels so good to do that at a certain time. Obviously we can make changes whenever we want, but something about having a little kick in the butt really makes you like get up and make those changes. And it is fun to rediscover yourself and have the realization of who I am is not solidified. I can morph and change over time. I can reassess what I like and what I don't like. And I've been doing that a lot in terms of style. I think that that's a fun one that actually was not super recurring in the Instagram comments of, you know what, maybe I could even dress different. Why the heck not? I can do whatever I want. And it's fun to experiment and experience yourself through a lot of different lenses. Being able to better see and appreciate when someone is treating you right. I think we get in a routine and a relationship where we know what to expect from one individual. And then when our reality is changed and we are interacting with a whole new individual, it is eye-opening to recognize how you can actually be treated. That's something that I've been really learning easing back into dating after divorce, is like, whoa, there are people out there that want to take time out of their day and call and check in on me and give me compliments and like spend their money on doing something sweet for me, and all these things that I just didn't think I was necessarily deserving of or worthy of, or maybe people just didn't really even do that anymore. It's awesome to then recognize, oh no, that was just what I was used to in one relationship, but there's so much better out there and people will treat me the way I deserve. It sounds bad to do the comparison game, but sometimes when you have something to compare a new relationship to an old relationship, it does really deepen that appreciation, because you do have those thoughts of like, wow, no one's ever done this before, or wow, this feels so much easier, this feels so much happier, I feel so much more joyful. And that is a cool perspective to deepen appreciation, at least for me and this person that wrote that. I knew what I didn't want in a partner. Absolutely true. We can take those lessons that we learned the hard way and, like I said, keep them in your pocket. Make your future easier. Deeper appreciation for the gift of friendship. Friends really can come through during a breakup, and that vulnerability that you can show them when you're going through something really tough, I have found deepened a lot of my friendships, and I'm still so much closer to those people that were there for me in a hard time, and I super appreciate that dynamic deepening as well. Realizing the joys of being alone. There's a lot of great detail things about being alone, like sleeping in the middle of the bed, having the AC to whatever you want, buying only the groceries that you're going to eat, never cooking a single night if you don't want to. You can just eat frozen food. You can do it. So many little joys of living alone. Experiencing all the challenges that made me strong and led me to my current life. I've said this over and over when people ask me if I would go back and do it all over again. I have said that going through those challenges has made me stronger and has made me like me more. And with that in mind, I'm thankful for them. It has led me to where I am now, and I like where I am now. Solo travel, that's been my favorite thing. And you don't have to go through a breakup to do solo travel. If you're married, if you're in a relationship and it's something on your heart, it is so freeing and so fun. And now I have the bug and I want to do so much more. So I say let's all challenge ourselves. If it's on your heart, if you have the resources, the time, and it's something that you're kind of wanting to do it. I say do it. Something recurring that I thought was very interesting is people said after the initial shock of the heartbreak, the level of peace that you can find. And the fact that that is something that people have said over and over, I think should hopefully bring people in the beginning stages of this a little bit of hope that peace is around the corner after the initial shock. and the initial shock is hard. This is something that I also resonate with as well. It says not feeling sick all the time due to stress. I think your stress threshold can sometimes make you blind to the amount of stress that you're in, if that makes sense. Like if it's constant and continuous, you might not necessarily recognize how bad it is because you don't know any differently. At least I'm speaking from my own experiences with this one. And I personally have several autoimmune diseases, so I was getting very, very sick, and I didn't really know why. Now I recognize that it's because I was in a stressful dynamic, and even if my brain didn't fully recognize that, my body did, and it was being sick all the time. And I felt so much healthier and happier by just having lower stress levels, being independent and on my own. Speaking of independent, someone said feeling independent. I carried that into my next relationship and it created balance. I think finding independence, this is one thing that I probably should have put in my little segment at the beginning because this is something I've told so many people, but it's been incredibly refreshing to recognize that I am independent, so I don't need anybody. I don't have this like desire to be with a partner, and because of that, then choosing a partner to be with feels so much healthier to me because I can recognize that I am okay and in fact quite happy on my own. Loving my body completely after not realizing how much I'd grown to hate it. This is vulnerable to say out loud, but I don't know, maybe someone else will resonate with this. There was a lack of intimacy in my last relationship to where I just did not feel wanted physically at all, and I did not recognize how much that made me mentally dislike my body and the way I looked because I thought maybe there's something wrong with it if I wasn't wanted. And so it's been very healthy and freeing for me to kind of detach that thought away from my body and recognize that that's not the issue. But it's a true feeling and it's how I felt for years. So it's awesome to learn to love your body. This I can relate to a lot. It says meeting my new boyfriend when I didn't even want one and then being treated how I deserved. I feel like a lot of the time you find something really great when you're not looking for it. And I have experienced that as well, where I really was not looking to date at all for at least a year after my breakup to learn how to be so self-sufficient. And I've now learned that you can still learn how to be self-sufficient while learning how to ease into dating. A lot of people have told me in these DMs of, I was not looking, and 2 weeks after my breakup, I found my husband. Or 1 month after my divorce, I was engaged, or like so many things like that. It makes me feel better to know that you're not on your own timeline some of the time. Sometimes things just happen, you know? Getting so much closer to God is a huge one for me as well, if that's something in your life. For me, I just felt like I have no one to lean on during the hard parts of this except for Jesus. Well, of course, family and friends, but I just had such a deeper need to lean on God, and that has deepened my relationship with him as well. Just talking to him so much more about what I'm feeling, what I'm going through, and what I hope for in my future has been really cool. Realizing I could get through the bad days, that's awesome. Just to learn your level of resiliency of like, that really sucked and that was really hard, but I'm on the other side and I did that and I'm that strong is really cool. And last but not least, a lot of people just said, I then found my person. And sometimes you don't know better exists until you let go of what you have. And that's really encouraging to hear, I think, at least for me, maybe for you too. But like I said, that's just a little snippet of a lot of good things that people experience after going through something that they maybe didn't want at all to begin with. So if you're in the beginning phases of going through a potential breakup, separation, divorce, I hope this gives you some hope. But I also don't want to diminish the fact that I know it is heartbreaking and hard to relearn how much you have to go through, how many things are just learned and ingrained into your life that you don't recognize until you're in it have to change when you then take someone out of your life. And I just want to say that I know that's hard and I'm here for you, and you can go back and watch all the tears I shed going through that. But I'm also here to tell you that life can get so much better, and oftentimes does get so much better. And I'm hopeful for you as well, that there is joy and contentment and peace just around the corner for you. Sounds like the cheesiest ending ever, but they're all just true words from my heart from my heart to your ears. But I love y'all. Thank you for opening your hearts to me on my Instagram and for having a fun little chatty video with me. I love getting to do life with you, and I hope you have the best rest of your day, and I'll see you in a video very soon. Bye.
So give me a sign. Give me a sign. Oh, give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign. Just give me one more talking to you. Here we go again, staying up all night to see if you've been texting me. Where do we go from here?